Nona Palcios joined me in the studio for business. Nona, so we do love a good house price story. Everybody seems to. They have slumped across the country. What's going on with the market?
Yeah, interesting. Sales numbers are down, and specifically, right across the whole country. There wasn't a single region that had an increase in the number of sales. They were all down. Auckland, interestingly, was down quite a lot. It was something like 16% down, which is extraordinary. And it's taking a little bit longer to sell houses in Auckland as well, which is interesting considering that the demand is still outstripping the supply. So at the same time, prices are falling in a number of regions. Auckland is one, but overall the median price in Auckland has stayed the same for 3 years at $850,000. And when you look at national prices, they were a little bit up on the year earlier, but no different from last month at $585,000. So yeah, the housing market is slowing down. It's slowing down pretty much everywhere. Economists are expecting the regions to also slow down, even though there were still some record increases in some far-flung areas. So
are they saying why? Because obviously interest rates are
interest rates are lower, but it's harder to get credit. Banks are becoming far more picky about who they lend money to, and there is a lot of uncertainty out there in terms of the wholesale money market. That's where banks go and get their money. Deposits, for example, are down locally because interest rates are low. So if you're saving for whatever it is, putting your money in the bank is only going to get you a very small interest rate, if at all. So people are looking for other ways of making money, investments, and so on. And that means that the banks themselves have less money to lend, and they're being more picky about who they'll give it to.
Interesting. Hey, Grant Robertson, Finance Minister, gave a pre-budget speech today, and they've basically found $1 billion down the back of the couch. So he went out and told his ministers to find me savings, 1% savings in every portfolio, didn't he?
He found a whole $1 billion. It's a lot of money, and he'll need it too, because he also talked about the economy slowing. That's something that we just heard as well as in the news, and we've seen that's happening across the world. And so he's expecting. He's saying that the economy is forecast to grow 2.5% this year and 2.9% next year. But he did say that depends a lot on what happens in the world, because at the moment, with the escalating trade tensions between the United States and China, that certainly has put a damper on the markets everywhere. We've seen that in our own market today. We fell just over 0.5%, 55 points down to 10,072. Now, part of that was also Infratil, as we talked about before with the Vodafone deal. They're going to have to raise money for that. The market's like, how much is that going to cost? And so that share price dropped nearly 3%. That's a big company, by 13 cents to $4.47. Now, our dollar is doing a little bit better, though, and that's just because of just a bit of a correction there in the U.S. dollar. There's some question marks over how well the U.S. economy is going to fare. So our dollar is sitting at 65.9 U.S. cents, just under that 66-cent mark, but up 94.7 against the Australian, which is better than we were yesterday.
Shall I guess the pound? 51.
50.8. Pretty close, Lisa.
Close enough.
Pretty close.
Thanks,
Pretty
Nona.
close.
Nona Palcios with Business News there.